Well, let's move on. And before we move ahead, now I'd like to invite Mr. Vaibhav Dobriyal Dobi, co-founder and chief product officer at LUMIQ, our awards partner, to please join us on stage and deliver the keynote address. Can we have a huge round of applause for Mr. Vaibhav, everyone?
Good evening, everyone. I'm just standing in between your awards, so I'll not take long. What I thought is, rather than making a sales pitch, rather than talking about AI, which I'm sure you would have heard many times along the day, I will talk about what's next. And before I go there, I just want to convey one thing, that we have been doing everything as insurers for last 30 years, but I still believe we have only done digitization of paperwork. This is the state of the art today. I know it's provocative, I know it's a statement, but I bring enough facts and enough things to substantiate that claim. But before I go there, my name is Vaibhav Dobriyal. I'm the co-founder and chief product officer of a company called LUMIQ. Many of our customers are already in the room. We have been doing only AI and data for last 12 years. Back then it was called big data analytics. The only three things I want to speak about us are we bring deep insurance knowledge, deep cloud, data, and AI understanding. Who do we work with? Like I said, many of you already are in the room. We started about 9 years back when the cloud penetration started, and then big data analytics and AI, and we have continued that. So we only work with financial services. That's something else that I want to share. And of course, when you go such deep over so many years working with you in the trenches, you get your point of views. So we do carry one. So the context of the conversation today is that irrespective of what scale anybody is operating in insurance, we are deeply fragmented into three offices: front, middle, and back office. And since I started with calling out SOTA, the state of the art today, in each one of them, what is the best experience that we deliver? Not me, I'm talking about the whole industry. At best, in the front office, in the apps where customers or your sales guys are assisting journeys, the best you have is chatbots. I'm talking about agentic chatbots. Reflexive questionnaires is the best that we have. There, when it comes to middle office, we have STP, that's the state of the art. And then when it goes manual, non-STP, everything needs to be done by hands or by our brains. We have workflows, we have business rule engines, we have worksheets, we have machine learning, but that's the best, right? We brought in the first agentic underwriter into the market, which has decisioning capabilities. I've put that also, because we are also questioning what best we have. And in the back office, at best we have is portals, applications, automations, RPA. The irony of this situation is not just insurers. Even we ourselves started tagging. So we used to say that we don't do apps. We don't do onboarding. There are companies which do onboarding. There are companies which do workflows. There are companies which do analytics, which do AI. That's a big statement because the front office, middle office mindset has creeped even outside the insurance ecosystem. Now, what does it translate to? A lot of GAN. But essentially, if you look at it, I'll take one example of an onboarding journey, right? A 25-year-old guy and a 45-year-old guy, some of us have personalized journey, but I'm questioning the level of personalization that we carry. So, like I said, what's the problem? The problem is our hyper-personalized journeys are visualized as an overhead. The current architecture cannot adapt. And when I'm talking about a personalized journey, I'm not talking about a personalization at a customer level. I'm talking about a personalization at the level of that conversation at that point in time. So we have 47 questions because we had 47 data fields. We had forms which had 47 fields. So we percolated it into the whole ecosystem. And when you look at customers, they feel they are being processed, not being helped. And I'm talking about best journeys, right? And when you look at sales team, I'm sure there are enough distribution teams in the room who know the pain is, right? Insurance is the only product which is sold twice. First you sell to the customers, then you come back and sell to the insurance team. So we went back to the board and we said, okay, what was happening 25 years ago, 30 years ago? Sale was actually a conversation. Agents personalized, I'm talking about sales guys, they were actually personalization. When you said, you were looking for your particular goal, they would tune that product and offer. They knew detailed about the customers and what is shared. But the problem was it was not scalable. What if I told you that it is all possible today? Sounds like vaporware, right? It's not possible. But then the point is it's possible. So before I start this demo, there are few things that I want to talk about. It's built on top of something which we call as Agentic Underwriting. The Agentic Underwriting replaces the middle office that you have. It's fully decisioning capable. It's already live in production for some of the customers already in the room. Now what has happened is we have extended that, and I'm showing you a possibility. So it starts, of course, interactively, but like I said, it's not a chatbot. So what's a chatbot? A chatbot is a fixed mindset. We will only work with text, but not everything is built for text. So if I start this, the customer gives up their requirement. Once you have that requirement, it starts asking those reflexive questionnaires. Remember, I'm talking about the wisdom of a sales guy, right? It runs fast as you give your questions, right? Let me step there. So as you give your questions, it's connecting back to the engine, bringing more information rapidly. Remember, it didn't ask for documents first. So it's not giving to the it's called progressive underwriting. That's the word for it. And what it's doing is, as more and more inputs come in, right, it will keep on passing that information. Okay? So it said, I smoke. It added some more context. As more context that added, you provide your gender, you provide more details. It's continuously talking to the agentic backend, so it's continuously bringing more information. And as you add, it's converging that sales and underwriting journeys into one shot. So now what's happening is, as the customer provides more information, I'm a smoker, I'm a non-smoker, what's my profile? It's continuously going back and bringing more information. So imagine what's happening was earlier coded into reflexive questionnaires. Now it's becoming an experience which is continuously getting tuned. Right? As you go deeper, imagine the trust that the customer is providing, right? Interactively, the customer is declaring more. And the agent in these conversations are adapting to that conversation. So of course, you have diabetes, right? As you say you have more diabetes, it's asking for more information. As it asks for more information, it will of course apply loading, we all know that. But what also happens is, it's intuitively explaining, look at the information on the right. It's saying what's happening, right? Why your premium is going up, why your premium is going down, which helps build customer the trust that, everything is happening in an ecosystem which cares. You are providing more help. As you go further, it's iterating what needs to be collected when. If the information is already provided, it automatically tunes and adjusts, right? Now, see, it's providing more information about hypertension. Now, again, it will go in that loop. Based on this new information provided, adapts faster. So as you provide more details, I'll quickly go forward. It keeps on adapting, it keeps on sharing. You can ask questions, you can interrupt, you can do everything, right? And finally, it comes up with the premium that you have. Now, 2-3 things happened as part of this journey. What were the principles that we wrote on the board when we were building? The first one was, don't ask. You remember many of us telling our kids to, when we train people, don't ask stupid questions unless it's a critical question, right? If something is already provided, please go through that and then ask the subsequent question. So if you already have information, why have the pain of asking it again? Redundancy is a friction. Every additional unwanted question is a friction. Every friction is a drop-off. Adaptive journeys. Hyper-personalization for a customer at that point of conversation to that particular conversation. It's not an overhead. You are helping the customer. You are helping your middle office teams. The system must adapt, not vice versa. And the third part is explain as you go. We all love when somebody explains us why, what is happening, right? That helps us build the trust. So I spoke about the 3 principles we wrote on the wall. There are few more things that we wrote. What was the vision when we were building it? We said onboarding should feel like somebody is being helped, the customer is being helped, not being processed. We all hate that processing when there's form after form that we have to fill, right? So inference over input and strict relevance. What it leads to is zero friction, not just for the customer, even for your sales team. In most organizations, we have seen 20 to 25% of sales effort goes into getting this paperwork sorted. And I am talking about self-service journeys also. They also go through the same experience, right? We call it the end of form filling, and we call it the beginning of a meaningful conversation. Now, why we were able to build it? It would be unfair just to throw an idea and not explain how we built it, right? So our journey goes back to the fact that we delivered Leo. Leo is an agentic underwriter, which in production for some of our cohorts has been able to give 99.3% accuracy in auto decisioning. I'll repeat those numbers. 99.3% accuracy in auto decisioning. I'm not talking about assistance. It brings right kinds of bells and whistles as your junior underwriter would have. When you have something like that capable of doing decisioning and with advanced reasoning, right? Because at the end of it, we are regulated. We need to understand that everything will be scrutinized. It has to be logically relevant all the time. It has to be consistent. All we did is we wrapped it and we visualized a new kind of UI. And I think it's most important to stress on the fact that the mobile apps, the websites of today that we are experiencing are not going to be relevant very soon. So we started with Leo, which has agentic AI capabilities. Second, we extended Leo into an sales journey, and that's what you saw. And what it does is it collapses your front and middle office. This is not future, this is not vaporware, and it is all built on our experience that we embody as Lightscone. So the key question that I have is, who builds this architecture first? Because I believe as a customer, as an insurer, you would want to claim that you built it first. So that's all I had for today. Thank you so much. Happy to take questions if there are. And you have been a lovely audience. And one last point that I want to add is, ma'am just mentioned about scalability. If we have to do 100% coverage in this nation by 2047, unless we have things like this, it won't happen. Yes, we are worried about AI, about costs, we are worried about regulation, but I think that has always been the case when a disruptive technology like this comes up. It's on us as solution providers to build those guardrails, to enforce it that it gets used in the right manner. So my question remains the same. Who builds this new architecture first? I'll be happy to say that we in India built it first. Thank you so much. You have been a lovely audience. I'll just describe.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Vaibhav, for really a powerful and meaningful dialogue. Can we have a huge round of applause for Mr. Vaibhav? On that note, I'll request Shami Kapoor from Magma General Insurance Limited to please join us on stage to felicitate Mr. Vaibhav Dobriyal, DOBI, co-founder and Chief Product Officer, LUMIQ. Can we have a huge round of applause, everyone?